everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in today. You probably just saw my video about the 25, end up being 27 most frequently used pattern notions and tools that I use for my sewing. And so today I just want to share, I am coming in with my this is the Seamwork Kimmy dress. So that is what I am wearing today for today's video. So I wanted to come in real quickly. This won't be a very long video. If you have not subscribed, please consider subscribing. Thank you to everybody who has come back, and again, happy new year as we embark on this new year and all of the sewing goodness that we hope to do this year. So this video, much like my previous video and my upcoming video, so make sure you stay tuned for Sunday. I will be showing you how I store my PDFs, patterns, and my commercial patterns. So stay tuned for that. And then, but today, the previous video, this video, and the next video is really answering some questions that I pretty frequently received in my videos over the past year. And so I made a note of some of those. I usually answer them or direct people to specific maybe videos or something like that. And so I thought this would be easier because obviously some of those videos that I've done previously are probably a year or so old, and it might be a little challenging, even though I do have playlists here on my channel to go back and catch up on some of those videos. So anyway, let me start out with trying to fix this. So let me start out with some of the most comment adjustments that I make. Okay, I had to adjust the lighting because it's a little bit of an overcast today. So but anyway, so there are several adjustments that I typically make on patterns. Now, even with on my weight loss journey, I do have to make sure that I pay attention to these areas even more, just to make sure that the fit, as you all know, if you've been following my channel, I have really been trying to improve and on fit of my garments. It really didn't hit home to me until 2019, those type of adjustments that I needed to make, what they meant, the effect on the garment that they would have, even the effect on me, not just the garment and making sure it fits me, but some adjustments are time consuming. And so I have to, depending on what it is that I'm looking to make, I have to take that into consideration, the time, the preparation it will take to make sure that that garment has a great fit. Now, I have not been perfect, obviously, as I'm continuing to still learn. There are some different fit things that I need to take in consideration. I'll talk about those as well today, that in 2021 I definitely want to pay attention to. But let's just start with some of the adjustments I have made. And by the look of this, aside from shortening, lengthening, I believe I have videos on all of this. So what I am going to do is link in the iCard and down below in the description box. I may also look in the pinned comments of this video. The first pinned comment will also probably be a video link where I will put a link to this specific adjustment that I'm talking about. So I won't redo them here. Obviously that'll make this a long video because there are quite a few common adjustments that I have made. And so let's start with at the top. Again, with pattern adjustments and different things I have to make, I do have several books. The Fit for Me for Real People book. I have books for fitting for pants. You all know I've taken the Sew to Fit, the block for the pants block, which I learned a lot of fitting techniques there. So I have taken quite a few, I have taken the class. I have quite a few books and resources, and it's just all trial and error. If I can do a quick workaround of some fit, I will do that if it's appropriate. But for the most part, I have done all of these before in some shape or form more than once, and that's why I call them my most common. So and these aren't in any particular order. So there are essentially 6 things that I do most commonly. The first one is a sloping shoulder adjustment, and this is just based on the block, has nothing to do with my body. I've said this before, just because you have to make adjustments and things to patterns is nothing wrong with your body. It's just that blocked patterns that are on the market, be it indie or commercial, aren't designed for you specifically. They aren't designed for me specifically unless it's my personal block and something based off of my personal block. Otherwise, it's for the masses for a reason, and usually through some kind of adjustment you can get the fit tailored to you. I know initially when I got back into sewing a few years ago, that just wasn't, I didn't even comprehend that. I'm wondering, okay, I wear size this and ready to wear, why won't this work here, or it should work like this, or why does this feel like that? And it took time. So don't beat yourself up. As you're watching different YouTubers outside of myself and others, you'll learn and see and hear different adjustments that different sewists have to make in order for a garment to fit right, to look right, to lay right on them. So sloping shoulder is one that I would have to do. I have done a sloping shoulder adjustment on a Springfield top, and I have a separate video for that. And I've also had to do with my sloping shoulders, the gaping neckline back there. Usually if I have to do a sloping shoulder, I have to do that. So I will kind of count those one and the same, because I don't always have to do a gaping neckline adjustment. But if I have to do a sloping shoulder adjustment, because it's coming too far up, and something like that, or a forward shoulder adjustment, which is the next one I've had to do before, I usually would have to do a gaping neckline adjustment in conjunction with these first 2 adjustments. So a forward shoulder adjustment. So your garment, the sloping shoulder is, sloping shoulders, I guess that makes sense. But the forward shoulder adjustment is your garments tend to ride up towards the front, and you find that it's just keep going, like, the seam that's supposed to sit here keeps going up. You might have to do some kind of forward shoulder adjustment where you have to take out a little bit so this seam can sit where it's supposed to. And again, I have shown that in one of my videos. I forget which video specifically, but I will just say in that pinned comment, example of forward shoulder adjustment, example of sloping shoulder adjustment, so you can go back and see. I've had to do also a sway back adjustment. I've also in my, I think it was a butterick dress, I had to do a sway back adjustment. I will link to that down below. And actually this dress has drawstrings, which I probably need to draw up because it's kind of slipping off here. But anyway, so the sway back, very easy adjustment to make. Once you kind of understand doing these adjustments a few times, it will kind of become second nature. And usually for shoulder adjustments now, I can tell by looking at a pattern if I'll need to make that adjustment. But yeah, the sway back adjustment is something I've had to make. Another typical adjustment is if I have to shorten or lengthen a dress pattern. Sometimes skirts or dresses, the skirt part of that dress or the skirt itself comes too long for me, or is too short. So usually I'm 5'7", so I like things to hit probably at the midpoint of my knee. I don't like things necessarily below my knee, and I definitely don't like things up above my knee. So there's a specific spot I like it to hit. So either I'll take the measurement, or I'll hold the pattern up to me and go from there and see where I need to go so far as sizing. In this dress, it's gonna annoy me. I need to pull the drawstrings in so it can stop sliding. So anyway, the next adjustment I usually make is grading between sizes. So you all know I'm a big proponent. I do not grade up patterns to fit me. I work with patterns that are within my measurement range, and I will grade between sizes. And so for me, it's starting to change obviously with my weight loss journey, but for the most part, if you kind of been following my channel over the past couple years, you know, as when I was in a larger size range, I mainly only sold indie patterns because they were more accommodating. The commercial patterns just were not. The big four just were not. And so as I've been losing weight, I've been finding I've been able to sew up some of those more commercial patterns. But I think my first love will always be indie patterns, because especially when I found cashmere patterns, because once I got back into sewing, I was so discouraged by sewing up those commercial patterns and some indie patterns initially. There are way more indie companies that are more size inclusive now, but initially it wasn't like that a couple of years ago. And it was so discouraging either to find something that you wanted to be fashionable without having to hack it to death to look like something that was sewn up for a person on a smaller body or something like that. But now the options are endless. There are so many options, so many things that you can do. And so grading between sizes is what I choose to do. I do not choose to grade up a pattern for what? I don't know. We're not doing that. The other thing I tend to do is I would say the sixth thing is raise necklines. Now I do like this is a V-neck. I guess you can tell that's a V-neck, and I have a tank on underneath. Now I love V-necks, and I actually love wearing tanks. You all know this is actually a cami. I'm ready to wear a cami. I will put a cami on a low V or a wrap in a heartbeat. That's just me. That's what I like. That's just how I like to style my clothes. That's my personal preference. But I love V-necks, and I love my first love is a V-neck. So V-necks that could be as low as this or up a little higher, or a rounder neckline is my preference. So usually what I've started doing actually is paying attention to when I needed to raise necklines in different patterns in order for it to sit where I want it to sit on me. So absolutely love that. So I would say those are my most 6 common adjustments. And again, I will link to in the pinned comments down below videos on, I probably don't have one for raising the neckline, and not one specifically for shortening or lengthening a skirt, but the short and lengthen line, you cut there, add how much you want to, or take away how much you need. But those are my most common adjustments, I will say that. Now there are some adjustments and construction techniques that I need to take in consideration more, that I have not taken in consideration as much in the past, and that is moving my bust dart. I think I've only done it once, and it might have been, if I'm honest, out of complete laziness, especially if I had to make any of these other sloping forward shoulder, sway back, lengthening, shortening the skirt, or anything grading between sizes. If I had to also move the bust dart, I'm pretty much done with adjustments. And I'm over it at that point with adjustments. But again, that's just my impatience. If I know and can recognize that there are adjustments that I need to make, I just need to take that in consideration for that particular project. Now granted, there will always be, for me, those projects where it's an easy sew, not a lot going on, you know, this easy project, quick project, our palette cleansers, I will always have that. But one of the things I want to do is definitely challenge myself in my construction methods. There are some different looks that might seem over the top for some people, and I'll get into that in a couple months, because I have a video plan that's going to talk about some of these over the quote-unquote over the top projects that I want to do. But there are some projects that, them being over the top, it might be a garment that I only wear just for pictures and just for YouTube and just for the gram, and I am okay with that. The point is, I want to be able to push myself to create something that's more challenging, that might take me a couple weeks to complete, that might take me some time to figure out the construction method, figure out, oh, well, how would I do that? Or, you know, some technique or something like that. Those are the type of things that I really want to push me in 2021. And like I said, if it's just for me to take a picture and talk about it in one YouTube video, never wear it again, and take pictures for the gram, I'm okay with that. I am okay. It's clothes, and it's part of the creativity process for me. I'm not so hung up on, obviously, let's get this clear. Most of the things that I make, I want to be able to continue to wear. I know a lot of times we as sewers say, oh, I'll get a ton of wear out of this. If you making as much as I made, 85 different things, are you getting a ton of wear out of 85 different new things that you made on top of things you've already made previously? You are not. I'm just being honest. For y'all who out there watching me, don't fall for the hype. I am not getting a ton of wear out of 85 things that I have made. Obviously some of those things were gifts, but the things that I kept, no, I'm not getting a ton of wear. Certain things I am wearing a lot, and I did share in my previous video. I just put on all the time. But those other things on top of things I've already made before, no, nobody's getting that much wear out of stuff. I mean, maybe I'm biased. Put it down in the comment section below, especially for those who for the most part, there are non-sewers who watch my channel, but for those who do so, for yourself, not for other people, but for yourself, I mean, if you're making, you know, as many things that I have made in the past year, and I'll just use myself as an example, are you getting a ton of wear out of every single thing you made, plus a ton of wear out of every single thing you've made the months before and the years before? It's just, you can't. you just can't. But there are certain projects that I will sew. Like I said, there will be easy sews, there will be quick sews, like my hoodies, my jogger pants. That, yeah, I will wear a lot. I can wear joggers practically every day of the week, my hoodie every day of the week, my Henley practically every day of the week. Those are the type of things I will get a lot of wear of. But some of these projects that I'm talking about that I want to be over the top and just, I'm just feeling like that for 2021. Over the top, kind of glammed up, whatever styles, and just, hey, if I'm just doing it for the gram and for YouTube, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. So, but the other thing I want to do is I have found, now I don't wear a lot of long sleeves. You all know that I'm here in Texas. For the most part, it is good weather all year round. But there were a few things couple things that I've made that the sleeves were just way too long. And so, and besides sleeve length, I want to play with sleeve hacking. Playing around with different sleeves and making them different types of ways. As a matter of fact, there is, I want to share, there is, if you follow, her name is Marcia Spencer, Kichi B, I believe it's pronounced Kichi B style. She has a download. You have to go out there, I'll try to remember to put the link to this, but she has a whole free download. It's called Puff Up the Volume, where you can do all these different things with your sleeves. I want to play with this. Again, I'm not necessarily a long sleeve person, but she has some puff up the sleeve ideas in here that I just think is just gorgeous, and she just shows you how to accomplish them. She shows you how to accomplish those different looks, and I think it's just, I think this was a spectacular freebie that she put out there. And like I said, she walks you through how to create different sleeves. I mean, something like that. Look at that. Whoops. Hopefully you can see that. I mean, that is just beautiful. And trust me, she has so many other fun sleeve options in here. And so definitely download that. I'm not sure if you have to subscribe to her blog or not, but at any rate, you may have to, but it is worth it. So for me, so far as, again, with fit, I want to continue on my fit journey. It will be even more prevalent now that I'm losing weight and going down in size and different things of that nature, that I, you know, really pay attention to different fit. Some things I've done before, maybe I won't have to do as frequently, or I may have to do as frequently. I don't know. I'm just gonna see, and I'm gonna push myself to make some of these over-the-top garments, but best believe we will have plenty of garment making that is very simple and just, you know, don't have to be over the top. But I want to have fun in 2021 and do some things that's a little bit over the top. So again, more on that will be coming up probably in a couple months, because there is a lot coming up for February for BHM Pattern Designers, which is my birthday month, as you all know. So yeah, stay tuned for that. The next video that is coming up, so again, if you have not subscribed, make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss. I will show you how I store my PDFs and my commercial patterns. There's not really anything I do any different than I've shown before, but when I showed this process before, it was buried in my sewing room tour video. So I have videos on my channel here that a playlist that show, and a lot of people have asked that about my sewing space and everything. You can go check out those videos, because I have 3 videos: how it was, some updated storage that I did, and how it looks now. So I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do another one of those, because nothing has really changed. But these couple things, the storage of patterns is buried in those videos. So I decided I'll go ahead and pull that out and do a separate video. So make sure you stay tuned for that, which is coming up on Wednesday. So I think that's it, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you have any questions, definitely leave them down below, and make sure you check that first pinned comment. I will link to those specific videos that show you how I do the different adjustments that I talked about today. So yeah, what do you find are some of the most common adjustments that you make for your garments? And are you going to take that next step in your sewing here in 2021 and start focusing on those adjustments, taking your time? Those are, when you start having to make adjustments on a lot of your patterns, it kind of slows you down a little bit in paying attention to your style. Maybe your style might change because of different adjustments you might have to make. Believe it or not, I found that. So yeah, and it is actually, I don't know if you can hear that, it just kind of thundered in the background. So yeah, so for next week's video, Wednesday's video coming up, and then after that I think I have a couple makes videos, only a couple for this first month, but anyway, stay tuned for that. Thank you everybody for tuning in today and for watching. If you have any questions, definitely leave them down in the comment section below, and we will see you in the next video.